Growing up, I don't remember having any female designer role models to look up to. Any design books that I came across were written by men. All my tutors in design were male. And at school, I was only one of two girls who took the GCSE in design and technology. At the beginning of my career, I worked for a few design companies where all the owners were male also. But at that time, I really didn't think much of it because it didn't even register as anything unusual or against the norm. Thankfully, the tide does seem to be turning, but it does move at a glacial pace. Recently, I asked some of my female designer friends about any female role models that they might have had growing up. A couple of them mentioned only a few female designers, 2 or 3. But we could all name plenty of male designer role models. Is that just simply a reflection of how many female designers there were at the time? In particular, how many women were employed in the design industry? I don't know, maybe. Nevertheless, it had an effect. Not seeing as many women in business growing up or in my industry or learning about them during my education had subconsciously made me assume that this was the norm. I'd assumed that my managers were most likely to be men when I got a job, since most companies were owned by men. And as it turned out, they were. It wasn't until I had children of my own, started my own business, dug deeper into why I was in business, and now having worked with more women than men, that I started to notice the gaps. The UK's design force is mostly male at 78%. Overall, women formed a minority in 6 of the 8 design subsectors included in the design economy from 2018. This is despite women making up 63% of all students studying creative arts and design courses at university. It's also likely that less women than men are in senior roles. And it's not just about the design sector. Despite a sharp increase in female self-employment, the number of women starting and scaling businesses remains much lower than that of men and of women in similar economies. The pandemic has affected things too. A September 2020 study by the Female Founder Alliance included an undisclosed number of professional women and non-binary individuals that before the pandemic, 87% of their respondents said that they were highly likely to start a company. Whereas 6 months later, 51% they had delayed or scrapped their plans entirely. Many of the women I meet have businesses in the online space, therefore they need to have a strong online presence. But sometimes a lack of website, brand identity, and good photography can often hold them back from being visible. But by not being visible, women are missing out on inspiring that next generation and other aspiring women who want to run their own businesses too. So with this in mind, I wanted to showcase some of the amazing women I know and highlight them in their businesses in an effort to inspire others. So I hope you can join me in watching my live Q&A sessions that I will be running on Instagram over the summer holidays.